Okay, and we are officially live, and it seems to be going well. There's going to be like a 10-second buffer between StreamYards and YouTube. But this is my good friend, Jonathan Wong. We've worked together with the Liberalist Project that was started by Carl Benjamin, also known as Zargon of Akkad. And we haven't talked in a while, have we?
No, it's been ages, months perhaps. I
Yeah,
mean, we
and
had like the odd message here and there, but we've both been quite busy recently.
yeah, I apologize. I've been MIA, not because, well, we do most of our activism on Facebook, and you know how Facebook is with like not progressive stances.
Oh well, I
So
mean, we did lose one of our biggest page in our group.
I know. Oh my God. Like, well, and okay, remind me of the charge that Facebook put on the liberalists.
Oh, allegedly we were like enabling illegal activities and terrorists, something about terrorism. So
Yes.
so so yeah, according to Facebook, classical liberalism and non-violent nature is terrorism. Terrorism. It's a
Yes.
bit like silence is violence, you know, a bit like that. And the page, I believe, was destroyed because of Carl Rittenhouse. There was a Carl Rittenhouse meme on it that got us completely nuked. Basically, I think we had about 11,000 likes on it at the time it was nuked. I mean, it's a moderately sized page.
I mean, how dare you stand up for a man defending his own life?
Well, this is the thing. It's trial by media. You know, it's basically they consider him a violent individual, even though the lawsuit, you know, the court case hasn't even proceeded. You know, hasn't even been made. His charges wasn't even been made at the time, and he already, you know, you can quite happily share stuff about terrorism, but you can't share anything about Carl Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that it's amazing that the special treatment we patriots get on social media. It's almost like they're afraid of something.
Well, yeah, I mean, they do say when you tear someone's tongue out, you know, you're not proving them wrong. You're just showing the world you're afraid of what they have to say.
Well, and it's sad because when you take away the voice, when you take away the vote, what else is left? And it's almost like it's almost literally like you're creating the monster you fear. I mean,
I mean, they probably need a monster to maintain the narrative.
exactly.
I mean, if they don't have a monster to fight against, then you know they don't stand for anything at all.
Yeah, that's actually very, very, very true. I was actually one of my past live streams was talking about fight fear, not hate, because
Mm.
you know when they tell you to fight hate, what they're essentially saying is accept our mind control and not be able to say what you want or need to say. But rather, if we were to take basically what the liberals have striven to do, at least from what I understand it, is we fight the fear. Who cares who cares what they call you? Who cares what they're going to label you? Say what you need to say. The consequences
Well,
almost be damned.
I mean, I'll quote the famous quote. I mean, but did you die? It's just words. Literally nothing happens to you. Everything that happens in your own mind. It's like if somebody said anything to you, really nothing happens. It's just words.
Yeah, and you know that. My God. So the vote. How are people in the UK and I know the individuals that you work around with. How are they taking the U.S. election?
Well, I think there is that I believe there's a massive split because the problem is the media narrative is completely split depending on what media you subscribe to. So you got us lot, which actually are more aware of, more politically aware, that know a lot of things are happening in the background, and then you got those who are only watching the mainstream narrative. You know, normal people go to work, they come home, they watch a bit of TV, eat their dinner with their family, and then they go to bed and they'll play with the kids, and the next day they go back to work. So they don't have enough time to invest into looking deeper into any of the issues. So they wouldn't know that about all the stuff happening with the Dominion vote counting system. A lot of people, because the media didn't even cover that apparently the US Army have seized their servers in Germany. Nobody even know about that. So they just take the media narrative at the face value that there are no evidence. And the funniest thing I think is they will literally claim they will actually say Trump's claims are false, even though they're only allegations. I mean, if a woman alleges she's been raped by somebody, you don't go false claim, no evidence found in your reporting, right? You go,
Oh my God.
you start with this woman made an allegation against her. You're reporting the allegation, but they're reporting it as fake with no evidence. So it's like, well, the trial hasn't begun, the investigation hasn't begun. Of course, you as them, you're not privileged to know the evidence. They haven't been submitted yet, but the allegations has been made. So you report the allegations. You don't prejudice the reporting by giving the conclusion in the reporting itself before even the investigation began.
Well, of course you shouldn't, but that would be actual journalism. And in my mind, I'm still hung up on your example. Imagine a world where rape victims had a Facebook disclaimer saying these claims have not been proven.
Yeah, these claims are disputed.
She says she was raped. These claims are disputed.
Those disputed memes have got me. Like, have you been seeing those, like Titanic and
Yes.
the British are coming, all of those? Oh no, those memes are hilarious. I'll be loving
Snoke
those.
says that it's not all of the British; it's just their army.
Oh, you know what? AP did one where about hang on, I can't remember what exactly it was on. It was I think it was on the Dominion voting system. It was saying what was it? Analysis false. Although they have made a donation to the Clinton Foundation, Clinton Foundation had no control over the daily operations. So it's like you're literally confirming the claim, but adding another assumption that you debunk. You're like, basically they are constructing a straw man around the claim, so they debunk the bit that they made up, and the actual claim that people are saying is the confirmed part, and then they can claim is false because they've constructed something that nobody is even arguing for in the first place.
Oh, I can do you one better. I did a very soft investigation on the Facebook fact checker on the election. Did you know that the Facebook fact checker isn't only hired by Facebook? Facebook is one of their primary donors to run their operation.
Well, I mean, Facebook did just, is it a day or two ago, changed Donald Trump's page from being the president to a political candidate. But technically, because the Electoral College hasn't voted yet, it's not December the 14th yet, as far as I know. I might be wrong. This is how the system works, but because I'm not American, that Donald Trump is very much still the president of the United States.
Yes, he is still your president. He is still your president.
Even if Joe Biden wins, Donald Trump is still the president until the inauguration date. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That is how it works.
So Facebook is literally creating fake news. I think they need to fact check themselves.
Well, when you get to pay for your own fact checker, that kind of defeats the purpose. And that was kind of the gist of the video was, look, who's watching The Watchmen? Like, who's watching these people tell us what the truth is when they're clearly buying their own side? That they are buying who gets they're getting to shop around and say, okay, we have donated to this organization, we've made them successful, therefore they're going to be beholden to our views and what we want them to say. And so I think it's the Bipartisan Policy Committee or organization or something like that that they've donated to, that is a founding not founding but a funding partner, and Facebook also hires them to do their fact checking, and you're just like, wait a minute, hang on.
You see, I'm in favor of people just finding information for themselves. I believe I'm as a free speech absolutist. I believe people should have the right to be wrong.
Yes. Well, no, and that's kind of why I say you need to fight the fear, not the hate, because throughout your human experience, you're going to recognize within your own experiences patterns between certain groups of people. And you, as a human being, have a right to react to those experiences however your experiences dictate or form you to react. And the thing is, to fight that phenomenon is to literally destroy someone's humanity. You're far better just, I don't want to say speak your truth, but live according to your own experiences rather than being told to shut up about them. I mean, this has gone so far that in your country, the UK, they have told rape victims to not report on their rapists. Is that correct?
I'm not sure about not reporting on them, but they will frame it as if they are prostitutes. But in actual sense, you can't have prostitutes because they're children. Children can't consent to being prostitutes.
Yeah. So it's
they made the active decision to frame any of those incidents as if those girls, underage girls, not women, not young women, which they sometimes use that to. They're not young women. They are children. They claim it's their lifestyle choice to be in a to be on the upstairs of a takeaway, to be plowed by like 20 random guys in the night. That's not a choice.
And it's astounding to me that we live in a culture where if you want to fight hate, you have to tell this rape victim that she is not allowed to. How do you say? I think there was one report where they actually told these girls that, or suggested that it would be better for them to stay quiet for the sake of diversity. And I'm saying,
that was one of the Labour's Labour MP retweeted the original tweet was satire, but she liked it and I believe retweeted it as well.
Oh my God.
The original accounts wrote that as it's a satire account that wrote the initial tweet, but she obviously been so diverse that she was unable to decipher that it is satire, and thought, yeah, that's a great idea. The tweet, I think it was why something along the lines of, why don't these girls and other victims of Rotherham just shut their mouths for the good of diversity? So, yeah, I think something along those lines. And paraphrasing, might not be exact quote.
And that's frightening how the right can almost, and well, I don't want to say the right, I want to say normal people. That normal people can look at the left and their narrative and their trajectory and go, yeah, this is about the route we're going down, and they fall for it every time. Like they think it's coming from their side.
Well, I mean, she and then she was put onto just Sarah Champion, which is basically like one of the whistleblowers, which is one also a Labour MP. She ended up have her place replaced by Nas Shah, which is the one that retweeted that tweet. As I think is it equality officer or diversity officer or something for Labour Party. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Holy crap.
Yeah, no. and just today, about 3 hours ago, the Labour Party is proposing, like, well, obviously they're proposing it, so it's not they're proposing an emergency law to well, this is a slightly different topic, but still about free speech. Emergency laws to stamp out dangerous anti-vaccine content online and should be introduced, according to Labour. Whilst I'm not anti-vaccine, but I believe people should have the right to discuss ideas and basically have their ideas challenged.
Well, no, absolutely. And if someone wants to, get their own information and make an informed choice, that's their right to do so. I mean,
yeah,
the idea.
I believe in parental choice for their children. I mean, yeah.
It's just appalling how these people are scared of information or other people's opinions. I don't. And who cares whether or not someone else is vaccinated? If you're vaccinated, shouldn't you be fine?
The problem is that they're so convinced they're correct that we can't even talk to anyone else that have a different idea. And that is
the
and that is just ideological dogma, because you can't, like, everything is basically blasphemy laws for the 21st century. Is like, your speech is outlawed.
yeah, it's blasphemy laws against the cathedral. It's and the whole anti-vax argument has me pretty much in a mental vice. I don't understand. I personally do not understand you why you would think that vaccinations should be mandatory when all of these breakouts that happen with these deadly diseases, they're not happening to the kids that aren't vaccinated. They're happening to vaccinated children. And so you have to step back and question, okay, what's really going on here? Why are we blaming the unvaccinated kids for vaccinated kids getting sick?
Well, I mean, another funny story that just came in on Friday was measles hit 20-year high as COVID disrupts vaccination, reports Fine. Which is kind of ironic, don't you think? It's like we're spending so much time on this lockdown and focus on COVID, which in the UK, I looked up statistics. Anyone can just go on Google and type this out. If you looked up average age of death of COVID, you'll find in the UK is 81, and then you type in the search average. Actually, you'll find it it's 82, sorry. And then you search again, life expectancy UK, and you'll find it's 81. In fact, if you contract COVID, statistically, you'll increase your life expectancy by a year.
Oh my God.
So I'm
Wow.
all in favor of longer life expectancy for all humans. So I don't know where this draw your own conclusion. I mean, you can look. Well, you can, yeah. Well, you can look seriously. If anyone listening to this podcast, just go on Google, type this in. But obviously, depending on which year the life expectancy, it might fluctuate. But I believe let me do this live now. Give me a second. Life expectancy UK. I type in Google. Yeah, so 2017 data is 81.16 years. That's the top thing that pops up when you type it in Google. And then you go average age COVID death UK. Type that in. Let me see the top one. What does it say? No, top one's the government one. That's one in the article. Oh, the Telegraph one probably got average death 65. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, I think it's basically. Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but yeah, it's 82 basically. Oh, there we go. Average age is from the times.co.uk, an article from October 10th, 2020. Average age of coronavirus fatality is 82. Is in the times.co.uk. So, well, if you put those two together, I mean, obviously they're very close, so they're within the statistical margin of error. So, I wouldn't say you'll actually gain a year's life by having COVID, but it's close enough that it's so dangerous. Imagine a disease so dangerous and it has absolutely no impact on your life expectancy.
Well, I think that in light of this new evidence, we need to stop calling them super spreaders and just start calling them COVID parties. Because when you're young and and chickenpox was a thing, and they would have chickenpox parties where the kids who hadn't gotten chickenpox yet would go to the house of kids with chickenpox just to get it over with. And from what I'm hearing, if we just all got COVID, we would extend our life expectancy by 1 year. This sounds like a wonderful endeavor.
This is what a quick search would indicate, but obviously there's more science to it than merely typing a search on Google. But yeah.
Well, yes, and we do have someone in the comments. So, am I to understand you're based in the UK? I am not. Jonathan Wong think is most certainly in the UK. I myself personally, I am a Texan in the US. But yes, according to UK stats, have COVID parties. It will extend your life by 1 year.
Well, this is the insane thing, because like you know, we're currently in a second lockdown. So unless you're traveling for work or for any specific, like, you know, any of the exempt reasons, you're not allowed to travel.
Okay. How the
And
fuck is that enforced? How do they enforce this lockdown?
well, I mean, yeah, it's weird. I mean, Wales had their lockdown, and they're even stricter. They had the Wales border literally had policemen checking every vehicle coming in and out of the border of Wales to get to, like, basically ask them, what are you doing here? But generally in England, well, it's not really. I haven't. Well, basically, because I still need to travel for work because we work in a studio, so we can't do the stuff at home. So the streets look normal to me. Cars are still driving around. I think most people are just carrying on their own business. But obviously, restaurants and shops are closed, so you know you can't really go out. But the thing is that generally the traffic is slightly less traffic, but there's still plenty of cars on the road. So most people are probably just carrying on as usual.
Yeah, and that for me is like, okay, so we're gonna have this lockdown. Who now here in Texas, and I'm assuming, no, I'm not going to assume. I'm just gonna say, in most places in rural America, no one cares. But you know, despite that, I will recognize that I am probably the only guy in the Walmart without a mask on. Just I can't be bothered with it anymore. I cannot be bothered with this with the fear and control. I just can't do it.
I mean,
But most of us just go about our day.
The thing is, whilst I'm not discounting that COVID exists or that COVID causes death to some people, if you look at the statistics of the amount of deaths from other diseases, even the flu, and you know, all other deaths are down because people are traveling less, obviously, and because of the social distancing. Like hardly anyone's dying from other respiratory diseases. So in essence, if you combine the flu death with COVID death, they're approximately the same numbers this year to last year. So yeah, so we're not losing any more people than we are. The hospitals are not overwhelmed. The government has admitted that the data that it used to justify the lockdown is incorrect and they're overblown.
Well,
so I don't know why we're on a lockdown.
Hang on. They only came out with that study magically after Joe Biden was declared president-elect by the media. So
immediately, like literally like a day after they announced the lockdown based on the study, they retracted it. But the lockdown continues though.
Oh my gosh, it's the obvious politicization of COVID is absolutely nauseating. Like I think that's the real virus. The real virus is the fact that we have we've politicized a force of nature. Stupid humans. Humans.
And the whole thing is, like, I understand that the concern is that you want to protect the vulnerable, like the elderly or people with, you know, any diseases and stuff. But if you are having a national lockdown, right, that means you're imposing the lockdown on everyone. But those people who are vulnerable are under lockdown too, so they are just as not basically their freedom is just as restricted as everyone else. But if you only apply the lockdown to the vulnerable group, then only they are the one that has to, where they will, in essence, to them, their life has not changed, but everyone else's life will improve. Yeah. So, and I would say I would take it even a step further to that. Maybe if you apply it to anyone that have direct interactions with them, like for example in care homes or anyone looking after old people, and like basically they need to have like a regular check or something, and then just let everyone else behave as normal. I mean, because to the other people, most people who has COVID are not even in hospital because they're what they call mild cases or asymptomatic cases, but that will lead us to the next rabbit hole, which is the validity of the PCR tests.
Yeah, that's
which apparently is very low.
Yeah, that's that for me is striking. We have a virus that's where most of the people who get it are asymptomatic, meaning it does nothing to their system. And I'm thinking, okay, so nothing to see here. Like,
well, the thing is, apparently, according to a good friend of mine, Naomi Sipes, which I met in Berlin with Carl when we went over for Carl to give a speech at the Bundestag on White Fragility, the book. Basically, she gave a speech on well, it was in German, so I actually don't know the content, but I speak to her quite regularly. And the PCR test, they don't actually test for the virus itself. They test for fragments of DNA that may or may not belong to the virus. So they have a computer models. Basically, they generate their own version of what they think the virus is, and then they pick fragments of DNA and try to see how much of them could match. So it could could be any. So basically, they have a map of a Lego model of what they think the virus might be, and then they pick pieces from the DNA from your swabs, and then they try to build that thing.
Well, I think you need to clarify that when Carl gave a talk about white fragility, that he wasn't he wasn't promoting the book.
No,
right?
The actual title of the speech is the Conservatives' Guide to White Fragility, basically providing you the arguments to defend yourself against the leftist arguments.
Exactly. And so
he's basically because not a lot of people are familiar, but basically all the leftists buy the book, so they use the arguments. So in order to counter the arguments, you must know what the arguments are. So that is basically the gist of it. But unfortunately, our website is down, so you can't see the speech yet.
Yeah, but no, I'm so okay. What is going on with the website? Because for those of you who don't know, Carl Benjamin has a new website out called Lotus Eaters that he has moved or is going to be moving all of his content to, or he's starting fresh.
Well, basically, we want to bring more than just like a YouTube channel. So he wants to, basically, we started a media company, and the website is lotuseaters.com. But at the moment, we have a bunch of web devs working on it. Because we experience a much higher volume of traffic than we expected. So, but we do have our YouTube channels, the Lotus Eaters, which is the main video channel for longer produced videos, and we have the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, which is the daily podcast, and we are running those podcasts at the moment, and we've launched the podcast since Monday last week, and we already are about 42,000 subscribers. That's not bad for a week's work, despite not having a website. So what we want to do is on the website, we want to have, in addition to just videos, we have hired 2 staff writers. They are researchers slash writers, and we have articles. Basically, we want to actually give factual news because we see a gap in the market because all we see are narratives. So, but in order to do that, we need some funding, and Carl doesn't want to take sponsors because that, he's just have a thing that he doesn't like sponsors. He wants people who actually pay for the content that they want to see. So it's directly user driven. So that is a general model he wants to go for. So there will be factual there will be factual data, which is those are always going to be free, and then there are going to be some hot takes and some premium videos, like behind the scenes and stuff like those. So it's a mix of both. So that's the idea. So he wants to move on to his own platform. Then he'll be more resistant to being deplatformed because obviously we know YouTube could just go poof in any day, and any social media platform could go poof any day. So really the only solution to sustain ourselves is to run our own website. Yeah,
that is pretty much where we're headed.
We know it's difficult because we obviously with the lockdown and everything, and we're asking people for money, So, but hopefully we will provide good enough content that people think it's worth their while. So that's the idea. So so basically our podcast channel, basically all the free content are on YouTube and on BitChute. We also do the audio version of it, and we put them on SoundCloud as well. So the daily podcast, all of those are always going to be free. and he's going to do some long form videos on like book club. He did one on nationalism in according to George Orwell. He did that last week, but obviously because our site is down, those are not up at the moment.
Okay.
So he's got a book club that he does regularly as well.
Awesome.
So
That
that's the
actually
general
sounds.
gist of it.
Now, is he still going to do that Good Christians project that I kept hearing about?
What can you? I haven't heard him talk about that. So let me know what that is.
He was going to do that. This is just my general understanding of it. It was a project he wanted to do called alongside like something on the scale of his Starship Troopers video.
Oh yes,
about
well, oh, he's going to do loads of those, so I'm definitely sure that is going to be one of them. Basically, the issue is, as I said, because the website's down, that's taking up all of his time and focus at the moment. Yeah, so basically, once we got that going, then he can go on to do more long form videos. At the moment, ironically, the main channel, so to speak, only has one actual video on, which was put on yesterday about why Alex Jones is so popular, because that was
Yes.
in reaction to Alex Jones going on Tim Pool's video.
No, that there are all of your podcast videos are on there. I see the discussions between him and Callum. One of which was talking about the communism and the effect that it's had on society. And Callum asked about the Black Death, and he's like, he just waved it off as like a natural event. And I'm like, no. Look at the numbers. 100 million dead from communism versus the 25 million from the Black Death in Europe. Plague rats are preferable to communists.
Well, those are some compelling numbers.
Yes.
If true.
Plague rats are preferable to communists. Take that to the bank. I don't I understand what Carl's doing, and I do appreciate it, and it's something that we need. We do need education against the Marxist dogma that is in our mainstream consumption. There is no reason why anyone should look at communism as a good thing anymore. The data's out. It's a failure. It's atrocious.
Well, yes. I mean, you know, the phrase "get woke, go broke" doesn't come from nothing. And literally,
No.
literally I believe a few hours ago, there was an article about. Let me find it. AT&T is reportedly looking to sell CNN after hit from hating Trump. Yeah,
AT&T,
so is reportedly looking to sell CNN because CNN is not profitable.
Now I saw that article and I was floored.
14 hours ago.
I was floored because I did not know AT&T owned CNN.
I'm not as well read as most people in American politics for a start, so I wasn't aware. But apparently, AT&T is 150 billion in debt. 150 billion, not million, billion. That's quite a lot of money.
Oh my
to be
God.
in the red. Yeah, that 100 billion can feed how many children? That's a lot of plate red. There's a lot of plate reds in that 150 billion.
Well, and you know, how does that happen? How does a company limp along with 150 billion in debt? And AT&T bought out what company was it? Oh, they bought out my father used to work for this company, so I should know the name of it. AT&T bought out good Lord. Basically, let me just put it this way. AT&T bought out a bunch of telecommunications companies.
Yes.
And the fact that they're going broke is, well, let me just say, go on.
I think it is that if you make, well, obviously, because I believe in the free market and capitalism, if you make decisions based on business, based on economics, you'll win. It's just that simple, you know. But if you make your financial decisions based on ideology, you lose.
Yes. And it's staggering how every time. Yes, Southwestern Bell, which was a Pacific Bell before that. Thank you, chat. Town on Parlor. Yeah, my father used to work for Pacific Bell, and AT&T bought them out when they were Southwestern Bell. And I don't understand how you can keep buying large sections of the market and still go broke. The only way that happens is if again, you are selling to ideology rather than, capitalistic principles. That's the only way that happens. And I'm sure that if we were to look into AT&T's practices, and some of their HR decisions, they went woke and they got broke. So
I mean, if you buy businesses that are not profitable, only a few reasons that you would do that. One's ideology, and the other one is you're laundering money. Other than that, why would you do that? I suppose if you see a business that isn't successful, but you see a potential in it, then maybe. Or if you are buying it out because they're competitors, then you gain a larger market share. Even if you shut it down, you still win. So I mean, there are reasons to do that, but CNN doesn't seem to fit any of those other than ideology.
Yeah, and that to me is, well, imagine CNN, the one of the bigger megaphones in America, whose numbers are driven primarily because they are let's just say they're available for viewer at airports mainly. That's where they get most of their viewership, is airports and other public venues. Very few people watch CNN personally. Like they'd rather go to like MSNBC or Fox News. So I'm not surprised, but it's
another thing that we've noticed is how inefficient all these media companies are. Because Callum has actually pointed out, like, when you look at any of the videos and stuff, and you look at the credits, it's like about 50 people there, and we're like, it's just me and you producing here. It's two of us. They've got 50 people doing a short video that for some reason require 50 people. The amount, this grossly over bloated and inefficient. And the amount of quality you gain by having 50 people on a project that can be done by 2, you're wasting money.
Yeah, I mean the amount of I can't imagine the significant intellectual input or creative input that you could get from 50 people that you couldn't get from 5.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You need someone write the script, another person direct, another person film it, and one person edit, whatever. Maybe you can put it up to maybe even 10. But in essence, a lot of those things can be done by one person. You just go, well, hey, you do this project, boom.
Well, maybe it is the work ethic of the millennials they're hiring. Dare I say that?
Oh well, I mean, the average salary in Otaku, I think, is like $50,000 or something.
Oh,
and what
good
do?
Lord.
They write retarded articles about what, how. Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, they write articles like why a gaming journalist wrote an article about why they couldn't buy the new Xbox that had loads of holes in it. You know that phobia that people have of holes. I can't remember what that's called. Like, is that what you get paid to write? You can't buy the new Xbox because it got holes on it. What's wrong with you? Cover it. Put a bit of cloth over it. What's wrong with you?
That is astounding. That they would actually.
And these people get paid 50 grand a year to write garbage. And that's why you'll go broke, because you're hiring people that are writing nonsense.
I could write satire. I could write satire of that caliber for free.
Yeah, well,
like, what the hell?
Well, to be fair, right? In order to get past the censorship of Facebook and Twitter, I don't write anything. I don't need to anymore. You like news headlines are the best satire these days. The reality is better than satire. What did I put up the other day? Yeah, but let me have a look.
Well, just as you're looking, the fact that Babylon Bee has to set up its own separate site called Not the Bee.
Oh yeah, it is the one. Okay, so this is the actual headline. Actual headline is right. Met Police, Metropolitan Police, which is basically London Police, told 40% of recruits must be from BAME backgrounds. For those you who don't know, BAME stands for Black and Minority Ethnic, i.e. non-white. London Mayor Sadiq Khan and police force agreed target as part of major race action plan. It was reported on Friday the 13th, just gone, and I posted that on Twitter with the headline headline from each according to his ability to each according to his race.
Yep.
I mean, you don't even need satire anymore. It's because it's reality now.
My gosh.
So all you need to do is just share actual news headlines, and just all you need to do is write a little comments on it. You know.
Literally hashtag not the bee. That this is like,
and then another one. Obviously, I don't support Jeremy Corbyn, but I support free speech. So, and I support anyone and everyone should be open to criticism. So, this is the headline: Labour suspends members for passing motion criticising Jeremy Corbyn's suspension. For our American friends and abroad, Jeremy Corbyn was the former leader of the Labour Party that was recently suspended for anti-Semitism reasons. So one of the branches, Bristol West, has voted to condemn the treatment of the former leader. So whilst whether you support Corbyn or not, any party should have any member of any party should have the freedom to criticize the party's policies, or any of his actions. So my tagline was, to defeat the fascists, we must become the fascists.
Yes, because we cannot criticize dear leader in the gulag.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reality that we live in now. That I don't need to write anything witty. I just need a headline. Yeah, that headline will do. Write a little comment on it. Boom, it goes out.
Well, and it's fascinating. You're like, okay, look, these are how they treat their own. Imagine how they will treat you.
Well, we don't have to imagine. We already got section 127 of the 2003 Communications Act, brought to you by Tony Blair of the Labour Party, Labour leadership back in the early 2000s.
Yes, that fantastic legislation propped up by Luxembourg.
The infamous Dankula Nazi pug court case.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that feels like ancient history now. I remember organizing the march back then a few years ago. It was it's only 2 years ago, isn't it? It's 2018, maybe, I believe.
It feels longer, but I blame that on 2020. I really blame it on 2020 because everything feels like time has expanded and warped.
Well, I think the news cycle is going so fast that anything that happened a month ago already feel like a year ago.
Yes, and that is something that I'm very cognizant of, because our attention span is literally now reduced to a day. And I remember back in 2016, back when Proud Boys were defending free speech, conservative speakers at Berkeley. And that's all they wanted. They just wanted to have people go to Berkeley and speak and speak their mind, and that's what Proud Boys were for. They were, an armed resistance against violence for people who didn't want conservatives to speak on college campuses. Now, the Proud Boys are, the line has been drawn. They've been pushed back, and now the Proud Boys seem to be fighting for your mere right to exist. And people don't remember how bad things were in 2016 and how much worse they are now. And the fact that the narrative keeps changing and the cycle keeps going, that we forget what things were supposed to be like before, is to me very staggering.
Yeah. So remember, so yesterday, was it the massive Trump rally? BBC's headline, I believe on Facebook, their line was far right and what was the other word? Far right and anti-government protesters gather for mega protest or rally or something like that. I'm like, what's anti-government?
Yes, because the people supporting the Trump administration are magically anti-government now.
Yeah, because obviously they in their mind Biden is the government now already perhaps, but the main thing is it's like law and order is anti-government now. You will not
Yeah.
find people more in favor of law and order than the conservatives and the Republicans at the moment, to be honest.
Yes.
They are the like yeah. Antifa is just an idea, but the conservatives, oh my god, those people, they're terrible. They're anti-government. What
Oh no,
is
it was amazing that the gaslighting in this one article I read about the violence that broke out after nightfall on the DC protest. It's just like we can't tell their motives. Several arrests were due to firearm possession, and I'm sitting here going, yes, because it was the conservatives attacking and rioting after nightfall this entire summer.
yeah,
Like,
it's that definitely them. It's not them that are going home to the children and kids and going to work the next day, obviously.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God, the Proud Boy Batman comes home, does his thing, but at night only.
Yeah. I mean, I just been like looking at my Twitter feed, and all I can see are just Antifa attacking random people in the streets. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, well done, you. Then you think you're the good guys, yeah? You go in a mob and you attack a random couple and splashing liquid on them. That makes you the good guys, yeah? Okay.
oh, totally, totally. They are adamantly fighting the powers that be, and the powers that be is an elderly couple with a Biden sign in their yard, and you shout at them about how being told that they need to be peaceful is white supremacy.
Oh yeah. Or also like random Trump supporter on a mobility scooter. I mean, that's definitely the final boss you have to fight.
I mean, could you encapsulate the patriarchy in a more firmer
I mean,
grasp?
he could really very well run any of you over with a mobility scooter at any time. You know, the poor
Uh,
bugger's probably a veteran and lost a leg or something. I didn't see very clearly on the video, but got knocked over on a mobility scooter. You're
oh
literally
my goodness,
picking on
he
disabled
fought
people who
he,
can't
he he
walk.
fought for
That's your
fascism.
that is your level of competence and who you pick a fight with.
And I kid you, no, I didn't, I don't think I told you yet. You know that Dallas Black Lives Matter where they attacked the walkaway people, the walkaway rally where Black Lives Matter attacked people in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was actually there with my daughter. No shit.
Oh wow.
And
Everyone's safe, I hope.
well, well, here's the thing. A bunch of Proud Boys were upset with me because I didn't tell them I was going, and that's when I met. I actually met Carlin there, and extended
Yep.
an olive branch of grace because that's what liberalists do. We're not on the we're not fighting Carlin. We just we had a spat on Parlor. But no, it was amazing because I got to take my daughter to meet Blair White, who, by the
Mhm.
way, called me dad because I was, the dad of my
Blair
daughter.
White call you dad.
He called me dad because I just walked straight up to her to my child's great embarrassment. She's
You
like,
should call you
"Hey,
dad or daddy. There's a fundamental difference there.
there's a fundamental difference. Unfortunately, it was just dad."
Okay,
But
just dad.
but no, I didn't
Did
go
you
there
not
as
explain to her your pronouns are yes, daddy?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would have set her straight, but my daughter was present, taking a picture with her YouTube idol. Anyways, so I didn't go there as a liberalist or as my channel or as a Proud Boy. I went there to take my daughter to see Blair White, and so
Mhm.
we're at the rally. We did the march, and Black Lives Matter came, and it started out with four white kids in the back kneeling with their fists in the air. As laughably and predictably as you could possibly imagine. And then the bigger horde came on later, and it was embarrassing how predatory these people are. They would get around. Now they're not going around. They're not confronting men. They're circling around women. that are willing to argue with them. They always would surround the women first and try to like isolate them. And so multiple times, like if you see the videos, like you might see me going up there and doing some ad hoc security, because they would try to circle around and try to harass people. And I'm glad that my daughter got to see what we talk about on the news daily in terms of Black Lives Matter being this violent force, because they showed their true colors. And I didn't have to, sit my daughter down and show her all of these videos where she didn't, where she couldn't verify it in like a real life sense. She got to saw it up close and personal. These people trying to assault people just for saying what they believed. And it was very I hope it was educational for her. And she also got to see her dad at work, because dad does security for his night job.
Got to see dad as a superhero.
And believe me, as we were walking back to our car, she got to see people calling her dad superhero as he was running this interference, as they were trying to assault and harass these primarily women, because they wouldn't dare they wouldn't dare attack a full-grown man. This is Black Lives Matter and Antifa.
They need to be in a mob. They need to be a black bloc in order to do anything.
Yeah, they do need them, because when they don't have the numbers, they're out and out cowards. But I got shit from Proud Boys because I didn't invite them on the fun.
Oh,
I know.
You're letting the brothers down.
I regret it now, but I don't, because I went there as a dad rather than a Proud Boy or a liberalist or the carnal conservative. So yeah, it's all true. All of the worst things that you could imagine that you hear about Black Lives Matter are 100%, and we got to see it front and center.
Well, yeah, I've seen it firsthand. Last year during the MEP campaign, the European Parliament election, because I was traveling. For those of you who don't know, I was traveling with Carl because I'm the cameraman, the tech guy, so to speak. So we've seen our fair share of action. There's a couple of milkshake incidents, and we even had someone pull a knife on us. But we were quite a big group on both sides, so they walked off in the end. So you can actually find a video on the BBC of me tackling one of the guys down.
I remember that video. I remember that video.
I am much better at it now, but although the gyms are closed, so I can't actually do any sparring or anything. But I have, since the first lockdown, this is tomorrow will be week 35. Week 35 that I've been non-stop training upwards. Well, at the moment, because I'm working really busy, so I can't train as much as before. But I was literally training 6 days a week when the first lockdown came in, when we all had to work from home. So I started lifting as well, which I've never done properly before, and I've never in my life done a single pull-up, like successfully done one. But now I can crank them out for days. So I'm
nice.
I'm deadlifting at the moment. Last week I just completed 7 sets of 4 of 170, which is not a lot. 7 sets of 4, but I only weigh about 80, under 80 anyway. So 165. So 165, 7 sets of 4. Yeah, so that's more than twice my body weight. So that's not bad for a few months' work.
No, that's actually amazing. But for your size and frame, I think that once you hit 225,
I'll hit the plateau soon, because I'm pretty short. I'm only 5'7", so
no, good. Push for 200. I believe in you. Push for 200.
You know what, my barbell is only basically, because I'm obviously room is an issue at home, so my barbell is only 5 foot long. So even the Olympic bar on the edges, like basically the length of the bit where I can load weight is actually quite narrow. I have to buy bigger 25 kilo plates, because I couldn't fit any more weights to it because it gets too wide. So I might have to get more soon, because the max I can fit onto it is once at the moment. Actually soon, I think I'll be hitting 170, which is basically as much as room as I have on the plate. So,
well, we got a comment on the chat that says, "Well, you're a featherweight." Yeah, but
you know what?
I know Johnny. and
I used to be
I
much
bet he could
smaller.
hit like a truck.
I used to be much smaller. When years ago I did jiu-jitsu for a while, and I competed at 68 kilos, and now I'm nearly 80 kilos. I jumped like two weight divisions or something.
Yeah. Well, no, as I was saying, you might be technically a featherweight, but I bet you could hit like a truck.
Well, I think I'm hitting a lot harder than I used to. So and actually I used to be never. I'm not very flexible, so I'm not hard or anything by any sense. But I can probably still take on Antifa. I was never able to do head kicks, but I've been starting to practice head kicks, so I'm getting more flexible. I can consistently aim well and kick pretty hard with my head kicks now. So that'll be a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
actually that's what I've been doing yesterday. I'm practicing. The funny thing is, I have the punch bag that looks to the audience, a punch bag that looks like a person. They call it a Bob XL. I got XL. I've got one of those at home, but I'm practicing parrying. But the guy doesn't have any arms, so it's quite ironic. I'm practicing parrying and following up strikes with a guy that doesn't have any arms because obviously no gyms are open. So yeah, so great at fighting someone armless at the moment. Super hard I am.
Well, hey, well, why doesn't you're driving Callum back and forth? Why not, conscript him to be like a sparring partner?
Oh, I wish he would. Wish he would man up because Carl started his keto diet, so he lost loads of weight. He looked pretty fit now, and I started training. Although I've got basically I love eating, so I've still got a few extra pounds, kind of thing. But my muscles are definitely gaining because
yes,
I've never been complimented on my legs in my life. Or I have a girl send me a message on Instagram going, "Oh my god, you got really muscular legs." I'm like, okay, thank you. And it's weird.
Yes.
But I don't skip leg day, so therefore I do my squats. Although I do such as squats, which is the front one, because I figured I don't ever carry anything on my back. But if you want to grab someone, double underhooks, or even if you pick up a TV, it's always in front of you. So I figured if I practice double, basically the section squat is you have the barbell on your elbow joint and then you squat basically with it in the front. I think it's much more practical because if you want to take someone down, they're in front of you. So that's what I do. So yeah, that I got to, I think, what was it, 97.5 kilos and I 7 sets of 4. So I'll basically I'm strength based at the moment. So I try to do 9 sets of 3, and then a week I do 7 sets of 4. If I succeed, I move up the weight. If I don't, I do drop sets, and then I try again next week, and then I do better, and then until I can complete the set in good form, and then I move up. That's my
So 7 sets of 4. I'm assuming that you're doing powerlifting.
Well, it's essentially because I want to be stronger than I look. So when the inevitable occurs, I will be able to surprise them.
Yes. Well, I will never get that surprise, and I'm actually happy to hear that you have a few pounds, because for someone of your size, having that extra fat on you, I'll be honest, that's just waiting muscle capacity. You can fill that out with muscle. I'm
not like fat by any means, but I'm just not like trimmed because
I didn't call you fat, man. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
What I'm saying now is appreciate the padding, because God knows I have plenty of that. But no,
they don't call you the tank for no reason.
Yeah, well, yeah, yes, they do call me a tank sometimes, unofficially on more private channels. But no, appreciate that padding, because someone of your frame is going to be able to fill that out with well, not just burn it, but to be able to fill it out with muscle. Like that is muscle growth potential. So that's it exactly.
Yeah, no, I've got time. Because I got really thin. I take after my mother rather than my dad, so my bones are quite thin. Like my wrists are tiny. So I know I have my limitations, but I've never had forearm muscles. But since doing pull-ups, I've got forearm muscles now for the first time in my life. So yeah. Well,
yeah, I'll be honest. The first thing that developed on me when I was young is the triceps, and those working out those triceps is the easiest and the funnest exercise, because if you build them right, they get absolutely massive. And Kiza is in the chat. Hey, how's it going, Kiza? Nice to see you, man. And yeah, Kiz is also someone who was in the liberalist group. So
Oh, excellent.
yes. So
Howdy.
anyway, so naturally, and a discussion about Antifa and Black Lives Matter would naturally devolve into a health and fitness conversation, one where we make sure that we are combat ready.
Well, don't start, always finish.
Exactly. That is the mantra. Not exactly Cobra Kai, but along those lines.
Hey, I mean, well, I take after good old Bass Rutten, because that's the guy that many years ago kicked off my fitness streak that I had in my 20s. So yeah, his liver shots are devastating. So I always go for the liver shot. His mantra is this: if you get knocked out, get punched in the jaw, you wake up in the dressing room, nothing happens to you. But if you get hit in the liver, you feel the pain all the way to the hospital. So liver shots, guys.
Well, no, are they liver shots? Because I call them something else. Like for me, they're called kidney shots.
Oh,
And
kidney shot. No, kidney will be a bit lower, because liver is kind of like it's a left hook to the body or a left kick to the body, but like about where the last rib is, the lowest rib is, around there.
Oh, no,
yeah, that's a liver
that
shot.
might be the kidney, but from it's almost the same area, but on the back. It's when you get someone from the back, right above their waist, right near the right next to that.
Yes, I see what you mean.
That lateral muscle. If you get someone there hard enough, they will be pissing blood for a week.
Well, I think I've seen Tyson do that. I think because he likes switching to like basically jumping. His lateral movement. He goes side to side very fast, and then he basically pivots to your back and throw a hook.
Yep.
So yeah, he does that quite a lot.
That's your kidney, and yeah, kidney shots are painful. If you get someone right in that sweet spot of the kidneys, you will do damage, and they will remember you. But this is why I enjoy being on the heavier side, because it makes kidney shots a little bit harder to execute on my frame.
Thick.
Yes, I'm a thick boy. I'm a very thick boy.
Chunky boy. Chunky thick.
Quite chunky. Oh my goodness. So, what else is on the what else is happening recently on the news front? What's in the future, John?
What's in the future? Well, I don't know. I mean, we're all waiting on to see how the allegations of fraud and all the lawsuits go, and the recounting and the Dominion voting system go, because that will determine a lot of what's happening in the next 4 years. So, So I mean, yeah, I've been watching a lot of Tim Pool lately, and I'm liking the new angry Tim Pool that is gone for pretty much MAGA beanie.
Yes. Well, is it MAGA beanie or is it the Alex Jones Tim Foyle beanie? Because
that beanie got yeeted, so the Tim Foyle beanie is no more. Only lasted a day if it got yeeted, and they wouldn't even tell him why they yeeted it as well. They just yeeted it.
Well, and I'm pseudo disappointed because Tim Pool did a post after that saying YouTube took down our video because because it says that it violated their terms and conditions.
Yeah, but it's a nebulous term. They never tell you what terms for what service. You go if you reply to them, yeah, okay. I would like to make amends. Please tell me which part of the terms of service I violated, so I don't make the same mistake again. They will never reply.
Well, no. It was slightly that's why I had a problem with it. Is Tim Pool just automatically agreed with their decision that Alex Jones had violated their TOS. And I'm sitting here going, don't give them that. You have no reason to give them that. Just let people know that it was taken down by YouTube,
I think it's just a diplomatic way to demand the evidence. So, say, like, for example, if someone is going to, like, it's like if someone is going to charge you for a crime, you go, okay, can you let me know what crime I've been charged with? Oh, sorry, can't tell you. Learn it yourself. Go to law school. What?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But oh my goodness. So not only that, but the number of allegations and the number of affidavits that Trump and Giuliani are getting are massive.
Yeah, the other day was 234, but I don't know, has that risen to any higher number? And allegedly there were like 1,100 people coming forward to make allegations of fraud or something.
Yeah, and they're still taking complaints, and apparently also, despite the left is now brigading Trump's legal teams, the different lawyer firms that are representing Trump in these legal actions, and these law firms are pulling out, and we're just looking at them going, wait a minute, why?
Well, the law firms are pulling out allegedly due to harassment because they've doxed them or something.
Yeah. Oh, we got a comment. 12,000 case files. That's oof. That is a big oof.
I mean, not just that. I mean, like, supposedly the U.S. Army has seized their servers, the Dominion servers in Germany, and I don't see that widely reported on the news. I don't see it in the UK news at all.
Well, I'll be honest. I just saw something. I think it was either on Twitter or on Facebook, where they're trying to claim that the account that posted that was a fake bot account, that it wasn't real, that it never happened. And
wait, it was. Oh, I thought it was a verified checkmark that posted that.
Oh! Apparently they were hacked. I don't know what they're claiming or how, but no, apparently it's all fake news.
It's from George Papadopoulos. He posted that. It's still up. The tweet is still up. Yep. How does StreamYard work? Can I post a comment or something? Or
I can see if I can broadcast it. Let me
see if I can. You know what? Let me. I'll send you the link. You can put it on however you want.
Okay. Let me see if I can do this.
There we go. I've sent it to you both on StreamYard and on Facebook. The tweet is very much still up.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me see if because this is all done from my phone, good sir. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show this.
Yeah, you don't want to lose the StreamYard thing.
Yeah.
Basically, if anyone is online, go to George Papadopoulos's account, and he was posted on that would be my time. I don't know what time it is for you, but it was posted on the 14th, 12:05 a.m. GMT. But I don't know what that is in whatever time zone you are.
Okay. Actually, let me get that in chat, because I can do that. I can. Okay, copy link text.
Oh, did we lose Frank? Yeah, I think we might have lost him. Oh, hi, welcome to the Wong Think Show. I'm your host. Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Did we lose you for a second?
You did lose me because I'm messing around with the stream.
I know. I was just telling the audience that this is my stream. Look at me. This is my stream now.
God damn it, John.
The tweet says, breaking, Congressman Louis Gohmert, I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of his surname, has stated that the U.S. Army has seized servers for Dominion in Germany. That was it.
And we have the tweet now in chat. And yes, okay, look, I know I was warned. I did it anyway because I want quality content. I want people to know what we're talking about.
You know what? This could work. I mean, as long as you know you're gonna drop off for a few seconds just to do something, it doesn't really matter. You can jump back in. I was only worried that the stream would actually get cut.
No.
Evidently, it didn't get cut, so it's fine.
Yeah. Besides, I have faith in John being able to entertain my audience while I'm away. I do
Dance,
have
monkey,
I,
dance. Except they can't see me because my webcam is on.
Well, your avatar's charming enough.
Yeah,
So.
me looking all gloomy. That is actually me. I took that in my room because working for Carl, he wants me to have a professional profile. So I don't want to dox any of my other accounts. So I had to make a new professional profile with my full name on it. So there you go.
So apparently, Kiza would like to join.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure, why not? But also we have a comment that even Biden's campaign staffer has been arrested for fraud charges.
Oh,
So
I'll need to see a link on that. I
yeah,
don't believe I've seen that. So
if I could get a link to that too, that would be awesome. So yeah. All right, Kiza, if you're listening, I'm sending the link to the StreamYard on your Discord. So, and there it is. So yeah, I sent Kiza an invite through Discord. Hopefully he gets it. We'll wait and see for what that looks like. Whether or not he joins, we'll know in just a few moments. So, very much, very interesting. So we're going to get that link soon in chat about Biden's campaign staffer.
yeah, because I haven't heard about that. So let me do a Google in the background. What's his staffer's name?
And here we have Kiza.
Oh, Kiza.
Morning, all. How are we all doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
The office is empty. I'm still at work and hoping to God no one opens that front door. It's locked, so it's not like they can get in unless they're management. So, we should be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So how's it going, Keza? What news can you bring to us? Tell me something good. Tell me something good.
Good news. What, around the world or just in general for me?
Well,
around the world.
Start with yourself and then tell us the world.
Indeed.
Okay, myself personally, I've only got 3 more weeks, and then I have 6 weeks of freedom from work. That's a good plus.
Freedom at last.
Yes.
Apparently, John, the name of the staffer was Dallas Jones.
Dallas Jones. Hold on a second.
All right, so Kiza's heading off for vacation after the next couple of weeks. That's excellent news. Now, on the global stage, what tidings can you bring?
Let me think here. Honestly, I haven't been keeping up too much because I've been too busy just being bombarded with what's going on with the United States. But yeah, trying to find something. I'm going to struggle a little here because literally all I've been bombarded with was just US talk.
Well, and did you guys hear about the generals betraying Trump and essentially saying, "Yeah, we never sent the troops home"?
Yeah, that would
be yes, I did see that. Yeah, V and Tim Pool were going raging over that.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. That is literally unelected bureaucrats basically lying to the president and the commander in chief to subvert U.S. policies. You know.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, me personally. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then the deep state doesn't exist, and then you get this. You know.
Well, apparently, Town on Parler posted the link, but it was taken down by the powers that be. It was breezed in the chat. So it says the UK brief was an hour long and mind-blowing with the $13 billion they claim Biden is responsible for. Ooh. Oof. Oof. That is
so let me see news. Dallas Jones accused of illegal ballot harvesting. Oh, is that the one? Right. Oh, I believe that's from September. Joe Biden's Texas political director Dallas Jones accused of illegal ballot harvesting. Is that the one we're talking about?
Is
that
that
was
the one where,
that occurred September before the election.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, they tried, and God bless Texas, during the Beto O'Rourke campaign, they caught the Democrats in so many foul plays of like ballot harvesting and fraud and trying to take advantage of the elderly that the Beto campaign was constantly being harassed and reined in by the state of Texas. Thank God. But oof.
Speaking of Texas, actually, I did hear word online that apparently if any state is founded to have been a case of fraud against the Democrats, apparently that will make the entire election completely void.
Yes. Yeah, and there is Supreme Court precedence over a separate issue involving Mexico, believe it or not, where it says, and I'm quoting here, fraud. Let me make sure I get it right, because I have it on my Telegram channel. Let me make sure I get this right.
That. It's a word beginning with V, isn't it?
Yes. There's no question of the general doctrine that fraud vitiates the most solemn contracts, documents, and even judgments. There's also no question that many rights originally founded in fraud become, by lapse of time, by the difficulty of proving the fraud, and by the protection of the law, throws around rights once established by formal judicial proceedings in tribunals established by law, according to the methods of the law, no longer open to inquiry in the usual and ordinary method. For those of you listening, let me put that in layman's terms. If there has been fraud and there's proven to have been fraud, it does not matter what happened after the fraud confirmed a false result. That result is null and
Hello, you broke up there.
let me am I
broke
good?
Up, you broke up there for a moment there.
All right. Can I am I clear now?
Yes, you're back.
Okay. Awesome. So basically, in layman's terms, anything that was the result of fraud, including the presidential election, if there is sufficient evidence to prove that Biden won by any degree of fraud, any state, then his candidacy by Supreme Court precedent is null and void. Well, his entire campaign
was the president case directly relating to elections? Is it directly applicable? That's because I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just trying to see.
Actually, the way that this opinion is written, it does apply to elections. It can be construed to apply broadly to elections, even. So,
has there ever been previous cases of fraud in American history in elections that we can use? Because if they didn't notify the result of the election before, they might use that as an argument against what you have just said.
There is the only other relevant action that the Supreme Court has taken in terms of the election was the George Bush 2004 election.
Bush v. Gore, yeah?
Yeah.
That was 2000, not 2004.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2000. Forgive
me. What was I believe that was not it was something along the lines of not all votes were considered the same, so it wasn't on a fraud charge, so it might not be directly applicable.
Well, it does.
It was something sorry.
Apparently, sorry to interrupt. Apparently, from what I understand, was what happened was when Florida was being counted, supposedly Republican voters caused an absolute riot just when their votes were counted, when the Republicans got a lead, and basically it was effectively seized. Well, not seized, but basically the entire count was halted. And the problem was at the time, Al Gore apparently conceded, but then it turned out Republicans didn't win it, and he tried to unconcede, but it was too late.
Okay. All right.
And apparently Roger Stone was somehow involved with that, from what I heard.
I have, Al Gore 2.0 from chat.
See, the main thing is whilst there has been allegations of fraud, apparently the lawsuits are on faulting irregularities in impropriety as opposed to direct outright fraud. So I don't know. Do you know if any of the court cases is actual accusation of fraud? Do you know?
I
might have missed it.
So, no, because from what I heard was one case of 1A was completely thrown out. But I remember Tim Paul speaking about this. Don't say fraud. Use a word beginning with I.
Impropriety.
E. That's it, impropriety, because fraud is a very specific term under law. Whereas if you say impropriety, that basically means any sort of, from what I understand, any sort of irregularity. So if you can prove there's something, even an element of dodginess, then it goes your way.
Yes, I believe it's for the correct procedure has not been followed, and therefore that invalidates the votes because it hasn't been following the proper procedure. Like, for example, chain of custody and all that malarkey.
Yeah. Like, for instance, obviously in the UK, when I decided to spoil my vote, for instance, because I spoiled my vote in the way I did it, it was considered it wasn't a counted vote.
Yes, and if someone could count the vote, even by mistake, is impropriety, but it wouldn't necessarily be fraud.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not sure the exact legal wording of it, but the kind of actions and the kind of results that we're seeing, and the kinds of testimony and affidavits that we're getting for the Trump side. This does not seem like mere impropriety or how would you say happenstance, or someone like spoiling their ballots. That this has been a clear and concerted effort in the direction of fraud.
It would appear that case. The main problem I see is it's very difficult to prove, because you have to prove the intention as well, rather than just the protocol mistake, which is much easier to prove, because you go, you can see it happening. But if they claim it's like a glitch, an accident, or just failure of competency, then it's very hard to prove the intention to make it a fraud. See,
True.
that's the thing that might be, yeah.
So to interrupt, but the only thing I will say on that, apparently there is reports that apparently the machines, was it Dominion, is it, that deals with digital votes?
Dominion, yes.
Apparently someone data mined it and found that there was blatant cases of potential hacking or something dodgy in the algorithm.
Yeah, I think that's a rabbit hole that I'm not qualified to talk about, but I have seen evidence to suggest that it might be apparently it might be basically they're not supposed to be networked or something. They're supposed to be independent, but they're evidence that they are networked together, which means they are open for hacking.
Yeah, because unless I'm sorry to interrupt, but unless I'm mistaken, wasn't there a similar case of something like this in the 2008 election, where someone wanted to vote against Obama, but the machine kept acting like it wanted Obama? The person kept clicking Obama.
I do remember that. I remember that very vividly. But then again, that was for Mitt Romney, and fuck him. I don't.
Wait. Was that 2012? I thought it was 2008.
No, that was. I keep getting my dates mixed up. I apologize.
Who ran against Obama again? Was it McCain or was it somebody else?
No, it was McCain, and I'll be honest. We wouldn't have been any better under McCain. In fact, if we had gotten McCain, it would have just made the death even slower, and less obvious. But no, apparently the Dominion systems are so reprehensible and so unsecure that the state of Texas will not contract them. Like Texas does not use Dominion systems.
Yeah, I also heard someone say, Carnal, I think it was in one of your previous streams. Somebody said that was the system used in multiple South American countries.
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently they brought them out.
Yes.
Like Venezuela, apparently, I read. But obviously I cannot verify the information. But I read it was used.
No. It was from what I read and from what I heard, Dominion Systems was made in Venezuela and engineered by Cuba, or
something along those lines.
Yeah, the Chavez interest in Cuba to assist in the voter tally in Venezuela, and so that's how the Dominion system was made. That was the goal for which it was originally intended, and when you consider a program that's primary use was to establish quote unquote socialist democracy, there is a high percentile chance that it might have been created with fraud in mind.
Yeah, he probably has a back door somewhere to manipulate. The thing is, I'm actually like, look, if you think about it this way, right? Vote counting machines, okay? What is it? Essentially, it's a very basic bitch calculator, right? A high school student can write that.
Yep.
How can you spend millions on this and still make so many mistakes? It's just one vote, count it, increase count by one. Well,
no,
bloody difficult you have to make it.
Look,
it's like
the irregularities of this election. The fact that they're claiming that Trump lost despite the Republicans gaining seats in the House, us maintaining the Senate, the fact that he won Florida and Ohio and Iowa, and somehow, despite all these other indicators that Trump lost the election, makes every single person watching this going, really? Really? Like this is just, as far as I'm concerned, these glitches are simply the mainstream trying to poo-poo away the idea that there is foul play, when the foul play seems to be very blatant and obvious to anyone watching with an objective eye.
I mean, do you remember 2016? Did it take this long for the votes to come in?
Nope. Not at all.
I mean, it was quite funny. There was a BBC article from 2016 of how to spot election fraud, and it basically a checklist, and it this election checked basically every box.
Yeah,
it was about the target. Well, the article is actually on Nigeria, I believe. I can't remember, but it's like an African country.
It was Niger, I think, or another
Niger.
Sorry,
but
some of the things are utterly hilarious. More votes than the population of the country.
Check.
Ugh.
Unusually high voter turnout. Check. It's basically the list goes on. I mean, can you imagine which county was it? Like nearly 90. It was 89% voter turnout. That never happens.
Yeah, not even places like Australia have that, and they have mandatory voting.
Countries with mandatory voting couldn't reach that. It's silly numbers.
But in Democrat districts we have 104%, we have 125%, and then I hear these libertarians are then I have these libertarians going on like they're poo-pooing that argument because they're like, oh well, people age, they get into a voting bracket, and I'm like, yeah, well, people die too, and it's going to take some of the numbers off.
Well, here's the thing though. I mean, with people saying, "Oh, Biden's the most popular president ever," sure, if you go by raw numbers, he's the most popular. But if you look at raw per capita rates, Obama in 2008 is still more popular.
Yeah, and we have a comment: 60% is regular, 70% is massive, 80% is legendary, which is the numbers that Trump pulls in with his supporters. But 100% is impossible. Let alone
wait, the
over
dude
100%.
couldn't put 20 people together for rally, let alone that number of people to actually come up vote for him.
And
I'm supposed to believe that the candidate who could fill a Rockstar Stadium lost.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even Hillary could get at least a big crowd.
Yeah.
And she is perhaps the most unlikable woman in politics, almost in the last 30 years.
Oh, did you
Oh.
hear like Hillary the unflushable is allegedly Biden is talking to Hillary about the possibility of having her as the ambassador of the UN when he goes
God.
into office.
Oh God, that's the
She's
last
back
thing we did.
and she's going to be leading the UN.
I mean, hell, like she already earns enough money as it bloody well is. She doesn't need to earn more.
Wow.
And
all right.
basically.
All right, gents. Was there anything else y'all wanted to cover?
I think we've been doing pretty good.
All right.
We've done good. We've been nearly 2 hours. I think.
Have you boys spoke about Dominic Cummings?
I read about it, but I was working on Friday all day, so I only just heard about it, but not enough details in the background. Fill us in.
All I hear is apparently he's left, and me personally, I think everyone's like, "Oh, he's gone." Yeah. I'm just like, "Yeah, can the rest please kindly leave? Just everyone for Parliament, just go. Just need freaking Sir Alan Sugar to come down with the Queen and just go. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Just clear out Parliament. Come on, Your Majesty.
Well,
just do what needs to be done."
Well, that would require Her Majesty to have a Trumpian temperament, which the British are not known for.
No. Yeah, the Queen's just declare sovereignty and reclaim the realm.
I don't know. We have over the years
back to monarchy.
Donald Trump looks subtle.
Who? Say that again.
We've had people that make Trump look subtle.
You haven't had a Churchill since Churchill.
Should I bring up he who shall not be named?
He's not elected in Parliament.
You know what I mean.
I know. He's not in Parliament. He's not in power. And you know what? I say that mockingly, but in all honesty, I wish he were. I wish.
And I wish America had voted Ron Paul when they had the chance.
Oh, don't give me the coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's no.
Down with the Fed.
Captain Hindsight with the 3 trusty sidekicks.
Yeah. Just Her Majesty, you know what to do. Just cleanse Parliament, assign me a supreme dictated island, and everything will be fixed.
Look, I'm just grateful that Donald Trump has forever transformed the Republican Party away from the neocon shell that it used to be, because that paradigm is dead officially. But anyways, thank you, my 2 friends from across the pond. It has been fantastic, and we should do this soon. Maybe I won't be such a beautiful bastard this time, next time, and I'll get John in on the fun earlier.
Yeah, it's like it's 8 a.m. GMT, and it's like, John, you want to jump on a live stream? Like, it's Sunday, dude. I'm not even dressed. Although I should be.
Well, yeah. I mean, also on slightly more positive note, Years hit over 2K subscribers.
Oh, so congrats! Oh, I'm so proud of her.
Who has? Sorry.
Years the Eunuch.
Oh, nice. I haven't spoken to her in a while.
Yeah, she still goes strong. I know she turned up for that big, the big thing in DC, so she's absolutely knackered. Bless her.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm sorry that Mandatory couldn't have made it for this stream. This was actually supposed to be him and I talking, but we got our time schedules mixed up. Anyways, guys.
That reminds me, John. We would love to have you on the Unique's Corner Club if you ever got a chance.
Excellent.
Go on.
Fire me an invite, and I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure he will love you. Yeah, we'll just have to get hold of you on Discord or something.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
I'll get Carnal to pass you my details.
All right, sure thing. Yeah, appreciate it. Could you do that for me?
Oh no, I'll send you to Callum Kizza.
Okay, sure thing. Yeah. That reminds me, Scrump needs to freaking get back to me on what I asked him all those weeks ago.
I'm not connected to Scrump. But anyways,
that's after we did seal of approval. That's why.
All right, we'll do this
gentlemen.
another time.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for having me, and speak to you guys another time.
No worries. Take care, John.
Bye.
Have fun. Take care.
Take care, guys.